something that
Right.
I want to bring up just because a lot of people don't know about it. If you want to help foster parents out and you don't necessarily want to step up and be a foster parent, there's about 400,000 kids in foster care on any given day in the U.S.
Jeez.
A lot of those are in longer term foster homes that are, foster parents taking care of them. If you want to help foster parents out, go get licensed for what's called respite care. So you can call up pretty much any foster agency in your area and say, hey, I want to get signed up and background check for respite care. And all that is you can babysit for foster parents. And you do a federal background check, which 99 point, like if you don't have a felony, you're going to pass the background check, basically is what it amounts to. As long as you've not neglected a kid, you're good, basically. You have a heartbeat, fantastic.
It's called respite.
But like
care?
you can get signed up. Yeah, it's called respite care, RESPITE. But yeah, you can like babysit for foster parents, basically. So like, for example, we have a really close friend of our family that was like, I can't do anything really long term, but I can watch your kids for an afternoon. And it cost her like $50 to do the background check and the paperwork. And I think it was like another $30 to get her CPR certified. And we did like an online program. But like she watched our kids, and that was like, because you can't just like, normally people can just like call up a babysitter. Like, hey, you've got a girl in the neighborhood, like a 16-year-old that needs some extra cash, come babysit. But you just can't do that with foster kids. You have to have there's all these requirements, right? But you can get set up to do babysitting, basically what respite care is what's called. But it'll take you an afternoon to do the training and $50 to get background checked, and you can watch kids for a couple hours so that these parents can go out and get a date. Sometimes we had a spot where we hadn't been on a date by ourselves in like a year, and like my parents were like, you're gonna go take your wife on a date, bring the kids to our house, and they did the training too. But yeah, if you can't do something long term, get hooked up with that. That's a really good way to help in a way that's a little bit lower commitment than opening up your home to foster care.
Right.
So for the respite care, it's just basically background check. You have to have CPR training, and then probably some sort of questionnaire test, I would imagine.
Yeah, it'll vary state to state. Some states have more requirements than others. But like I said, you just call up any foster agency in your area. So literally just Google, if you live in, let's say, St. Louis, Missouri, do St. Louis, Missouri Foster Care Agency, and then just call up that agent, whichever one, number one agency, call them up. Hey, I'm interested in doing respite care. What do I need to do? And they'll ask you some questions, probably, hey, why do you want to do it? Oh, I want to help foster parents, whatever. And then they'll hook you up. They'll set you up with what you need to do in your area.
Did you guys get that pop up too right there from Zoom?
Yeah.
I did.
Thanks for upgrading.
Don't they know what we're doing? What the hell?
My man.
Yeah.
They upgraded.
No, I think that's great too. Especially because you hit on it. I'm just thinking as you're talking, so many people out of work right now, it might be a good option if anyone ever saw this and it's like, hey, I could do that. That's maybe something they never considered before. And obviously helping other people is one motivation, but people are really hurting for money too. So, I mean, I know some people who could use the extra cash that are good people who would be able to do that. I didn't know.
Yeah, we had one. There was one couple, I'll call them Frank and Gracie. They were just this sweet old retired couple. And they were like, we're retired. This is our personal ministry. Don't pay us. So we got Gracie some flowers. We got them, some stuff. But they were like, don't pay us. We don't want money. This is just for us to serve in our old age. And that was what Frank always said. In my old age, I wanted to serve. I'm like, cool, Frank. Thanks for watching my kids for a couple hours. But he was badass, man. He'd be like, hey, have you taken your wife on a date recently? I'd be like, no, Frank. He'd be like, cool, bring the kids on Saturday. We'll watch them for a couple hours. Cool, Frank. Thanks. Sweet, sweet old people. And that was that was their personal ministry. That was what they wanted to do to help people out. And so they were real cool to have around. But
that's the TV show, isn't it? Frankie and Grace or whatever.
Yeah, I call him Frank and Gracie. Yeah. His real name is Frank, but I don't want to say her name. She's got kind of a unique name. So I don't want to tip him off, but Frank is, I think, ubiquitous enough that nobody will be able to track him down.
Plus, they'll probably think you're talking
Shout
about
out
me
to
right
Frank.
now. So yeah.
There you
Shout
go.
out.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Shout out to the Franks in the world.
Yeah, I was thinking Harold and Maude for a minute. This is a good movie, but then you said
basically, yeah, just sweet old people. Every neighborhood has them, but these two, they live, I don't know, probably 30 minutes away from me, and they're like, yeah, the agency put us in touch with them. They're like, Yeah, they're sweet. They'll help you out whenever you need it, kind of thing. They're really sweet people. But yeah, if you're interested in helping, whatever, yeah, you can get hooked up with do respite care, and that usually helps people out.
Yeah. Hey Frankie, can you put like a little link on this about that?
100% down in the description. I'll leave a link in the description for respite care. Do you know any off the top of your head, Christopher? I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but I like to put resources in the descriptions. Anyone ever comes, I mean, because 6 years from now, someone might come across this video.
The agency that we used was called Legacy Ranch. I can shoot you their website after this if you want. Sure. But they're a foster agency here in San Antonio. That's who we worked with. They were nice to work with, and they've got tons of resources on their website. If you need just like generalized information, I'll see if I can track down a link for that as well.
Well, yeah, and I'll do a little research on it to back it up. Yeah, anything you have. I always think it's great. I think it's such a trippy and cool thing. I just imagine no one's going to watch this I mean, people actually have, it's funny, people actually have been watching on our YouTube, even though we just started. But I just think like, video lives forever, and it just blows my mind to think, because this is going to segue into my next like thing about adoption. And my wife's story is like, how many years can go by, but because of the time we live in and technology, like one day you can be under one assumption, then they could be watching this video and someone gets that little piece of information that changes their life. And we're talking about moving, profound things. We're not talking about, oh, I found this great, cup holder, oh, that might change somebody's life for the better. But in the bigger picture, like these things are huge.